Well, hello, welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson, and well, today's one of those special days where we get to have a very good friend to be a part of the broadcast, and he's certainly no stranger. He's been here in the Southern Oregon area on several occasions to do seminars, and I've had the opportunity to work shoulder to shoulder with him on some occasions, and he's perhaps one of the greatest authors of our day, and I'm talking about none other than Dr. Kevin Leman. And his latest book is Parenting Your Powerful Child. And it's brand new, it's out. And if you heard or maybe read his book called Have a New Kid by Friday, Have a New Teenager by Friday, Have a New Husband by Friday. Well, it's kind of a follow-up, Parenting Your Powerful Child. So join me now as we talk to Dr. Kevin Leman. Well, guess who we have on the show today? Somebody that needs no introduction, our very good friend, Dr. Kevin Leman's with us today. And, of course, you know him from the Birth Order book and Have a New Kid by Friday, Have a New Husband by Friday, Catch a Salmon on Saturday, and Kill a Dog on Tuesday. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Kevin Leman. How you doing, friend?
Well, I'm doing well. You know, I've been really busy. I've been all over the country, and since Parenting Your Powerful Child has come out, they've kept me hopping. I've been speaking. Last week I was in South Carolina, Pennsylvania, New York, Texas, and Colorado, to give you an idea. So it's been a while, but I knew when I wrote this book that it was going to scratch where parents itch. And kids today are powerful. And I thought about doing this book because there's been a lot written, Perry, about strong-willed children. Mm-hmm. I think strong-willed children, quite frankly, get a bad rap. I want my kids to be strong-willed. I want my kids to be kids of conviction and to stand up for what they believe in. So I don't think there's anything wrong with having a strong-willed child, but today we've got these kids that are powerful, and the difference in the strong-willed child and the powerful child is simple. A powerful child has an agenda. They want to win, they want to dominate, they want to control, and they have to have the last word. So if you got a kid like that hanging around your house, stay with us.
Whoa. Well, does every family have a powerful kid?
You know, believe it or not, most of them do. And they're growing in numbers. I mean, I think parents feel like General Custer on his last day on this earth. Or have you ever played whack-a-mole in an amusement park?
Yeah.
That's a little bit like being a parent today. I'll tell you, it's wild. Kids today are power-driven, and they have a sense of license to them. I mean, take a look around our country. You know more about politics than I do, but we are the entitlement nation of the world, and people feel like you owe me. And that's how kids are today. They're more hedonistic than they were when I called them hedonistic little buzzards back in 1984 when I wrote the book, Making Children Mind Without Losing Yours.
Wow. All right. So, Kevin, are you suggesting that this may be cultural or is it genetic? Where are you? Is this on the rise? Powerful kids on the rise?
Oh, yeah. It's way on the rise. And we're teaching the kids to be powerful. Now, let me give you an example. Let's take 17-month-old little Fletcher. Fletcher is about to have his dinner, and Dad picks him up and puts him in his high chair. Well, he tries to put him in his high chair. Fletcher has decided he doesn't want to be in that high chair. And I'm telling you that that kid at 17 months of age can contort their body in such a way that it's a physical impossibility to get that little sucker in there. In fact, if they had a sport at the Olympics called arching your back, this kid could win Olympic gold.
Wow.
Now, watching this fiasco, Mom, just trying to be helpful, says, honey, just give him to me. I'll take him. And she takes him and puts him on her lap and proceeds to spoon feed him his dinner. Now, you be Fletcher for a minute, Perry. Would you rather sit on Mommy's warm, soft lap, or would you rather sit in the cheap plastic chair they bought at Walmart?
There you go. Whoa.
So we teach kids to be powerful.
Wow. So they get winning even that scrimmage at that age.
Oh, yeah. The kid in the mall who whines for a treat and the parent tells them, no, we're not going to have any candy now. I told you for the last time. 10 minutes later, all right, all right. But then there's no more candy for life. Do you understand me? No more candy for life. So not only do we cave in, but we make fools of ourselves.
Wow. All right, so let's go back to spotting the possibility that your kid's going to be powerful. I mean, maybe the high chair one is the first indication. Are there others?
Yes. In fact, there's a great diagnostic tool to determine whether your kid is strong-willed or powerful. And here it is. If you feel annoyed by your child's behavior, you have an attention getter that is strong-willed. If you feel provoked by your child's behavior and you want to sort of take his little nose and rub it in it, you're telling yourself, you can't do this to me. Do you know who I am? I am your mother. I am your dad. Welcome to the world of the powerful child. That's what you have on your hands. So it's really simple to differentiate the two. The strong-willed children, I don't worry that much about, okay? But the powerful children, I'll tell you, if you're a mom and you're rearing a son that's powerful today, here's the guarantee. He's going to be a lousy husband.
Really?
Because he's going to be a controller.
Whoa.
Women don't like control. Have you ever tried to control your wife? I know your wife, so you better answer this truthfully.
No, I just give her everything she wants.
You're not only good looking, you're smart. Well, you can do that with your wife. You know, you sleep right next to her. But with kids, you can't give them everything they want.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they're immature and they want everything and they want it instantly.
All right. What does a parent's tone of voice have to do with this and responding?
It has a lot. We teach kids by our gestures, the look on our face. Okay. Again, I brought this up in the book, Have a New Kid by Friday. Fighting is an act of cooperation. Okay. And so kids sort of throw the bait out for us, and like fools, we jump in. And there's a parallel here for all women who are watching us right now, okay? Or listening. Here's the deal. Your kid is like your husband. And speaking for every man on the planet, ladies, we don't like it when you ask us questions. Stop it, okay? And we don't like the why word either. And the same thing applies with your kids. So if you're always asking your kids questions, they're going to shut down. They're going to just flip you a bone, answer, fine, nothing, and grunt, and that's it. You're not going to have the dialogue that you want with your kid, which means you're not going to have the impact on your kid's life you'd like to have.
Wow. All right, so...
Another example, quickly. Your 17-year-old son comes to you and says, they want to go to a rock concert.
Okay.
Here's the traditional Christian parent who is steeped in authoritarianism. This is what he says. Hey, we're not spending our hard-earned money to send you to some concert to hear some goofball sing.
Okay.
There's the typical answer. What I'd like the parent to be able to do is say, well, honey, who's performing? Who? Now, I guarantee you, parent, you've never heard of this group, and the name doesn't sound like it possibly could even belong to a group, okay?
Right.
But say to your kid, honey, I don't know them. Do you have a CD of their stuff? You do? Hey, go get it. Let's go for a quick ride with me in the car. Come on. And go for a ride with your kid for 10 minutes. And as soon as he puts that CD in, or she puts it in, say one thing. Say, oh, wow, turn it up louder. Right there and there, you've got your kid on his backside.
Wow.
You've never said turn that music up.
Right.
Okay? And it might be a rap song, it might be a country song, or a combination, which I call crap. But whatever it is, Harry, find some ways of discussing of what's happening. Am I saying you have to give in and let your kid go to every concert that comes down the pike? No. What I'm saying is, if you want to have a relationship, then you have to exchange ideas and you have to see life from behind his or her eyes.
Wow, that's golden. Well, listen, you know, a powerful child can suck the oxygen out of the room, and the compliant child gets no attention. What kind of damage can be done there?
Well, this is what's interesting. In parenting your powerful child, I talk about the different types of powerful children. And when people tell me about their little child, oh, Dr. Leman, little Hillary is a very sensitive child, very shy. As soon as I hear that, Perry, I reach for my wallet. I don't trust that kid because shy, sensitive children, many, many times, more often than not, are powerful little suckers. And they manipulate you through their shyness. You have to walk around them with eggshells. It's easy to spot the kid that's flamboyant, the kid that slams doors and rolls her eyes and throws things and has a hissy fit. But these other kids, these manipulative kids, these quiet kids, can be extremely powerful. If you don't think that's true, ask any man on the street, how does he feel when his wife cries? And can tears be a great manipulative sledgehammer for a wife to use on her husband? Wow. The same is true of children to their parents.
All right, let me take a quick break here. We have Dr. Kevin Leman. His new book is called Parenting Your Powerful Child, and there's a picture up there on the screen. Let me encourage you to check it out. And at the bookstores over at Evangel, maybe Christian Discount Books, online at Amazon, Barnes & Noble. And if you have a powerful child, or you think you do, this is a real resource. When we come back, we're going to talk to him. How do you redirect that attention? How do you redirect that energy? Dr. Kevin Leman, we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Paulina, and I work at theDove TV. Did you know that when you support theDove TV, you have a profound impact, not only in our community, but around the world? It's your continued support that takes the inspiration and hope in the programs we produce and makes them available to the thousands of people who are watching these videos online every week. Help bring encouragement and hope to our valley and beyond by making a secure online donation today at our website, thedove.us.
Okay, we're back with Dr. Kevin Leman and our good friend. We got to get him up here fishing because he looks like he needs some time off.
When are you bringing me up to the Rogue Valley?
We got to get you back up here. We're right in the middle of a building project, Kevin. So we finally got our own building after 30 years.
Forget the building project. What is more important, salmon in Steely's or building?
Yeah. Well, you know, you came out with the birth order book. We took you fishing on the Rogue River, and you pegged me as a firstborn. And you were totally wrong. I was a middle.
You know, that is one of the mysteries of life. Because you have flown airplanes.
Yeah.
You are a very exacting person.
Mm-hmm.
And therefore, I want you to fly to Tucson.
And pick you up and bring you back here?
No, for intensive therapy, because there's something wrong with it.
I'm coming down. Peggy probably will okay that trip.
Yeah, she's the one that suggested I bring that up.
Okay. All right, we're talking about Kevin's new book, Parenting Your Powerful Child, and there's a picture of it there on the screen, and let me encourage you to check it out at the bookstores. This is already a bestseller. And if one of your kids is pretty powerful and dominating, you may want to pick this up as a resource. All right, now, often parents kind of lose the volume battle with communication. What do you recommend when you're dealing with a kid that's maybe yelling back at you or goes deep running? How do you not raise your voice?
Well, lots of times what they're yelling about is absolutely something stupid that doesn't make any sense. Mm-hmm. And one of the best curveballs you can do to that kid is simply look him in the eye and say, honey, you could be right. I mean, remove your sails, parents, from your child's eyes, or from their wind, okay? Remove your sails from the child's wind.
Yeah.
If you're going to ante it up and you're going to get in a power struggle with your powerful child, I'm here to tell you you're going to lose. Don't go there. So you could be right. I never thought of it that way. Mm-hmm. If you have the constant battle getting your kids up in the morning for school, rather than yell and scream and be frustrated, and then, by the way, how do you feel once the kid gets on the bus for school? You don't feel very good about yourself. Try this. Walk in and say, honey, I'm not sure you're even interested, but it's 8:20, and turn around and leave. Now, if he's late for school and you have to drive him, write a note that says, my son has absolutely no reason to be late today to school. Feel free to do whatever you do to kids who are illegally tardy. Love, Mom. and just keep the tennis ball alive where it belongs.
Okay.
You know, there's only one way, Perry, of rearing kids that's reflective of God's teaching. Now, I want to remind everybody, I'm no Bible teacher, but I know this. God is not an authoritarian. Mm-hmm. He doesn't grab us by our earlobe and twist it and say, you will do this, you will do that. In fact, he loves us so much, he gave us free choice to either accept him or reject him. Mm-hmm. So the authoritarian parent, hey, don't make me come over there. You go do what I tell you to do. You understand me? Hey, you change the look on your face or I'll change it for you. Now, there's your authoritarian. Now, the permissive on the other side spawns rebellion as well. But this is a parent who wants their kid happy at every turn. They do their science project for them. They do their homework for them. They threaten, they bribe, they cajole, but they never hold the kid accountable. And they're great at making excuses when the kid's in trouble with somebody else. Mm-hmm. So the only true way of rearing kids is to be that authoritative parent. I'm an authoritarian, which means your 16-year-old's rushing in, looking for the keys to the car, and he was supposed to do something that day around the house, and he hasn't done it. And again, you haven't warned him. Dad, I can't find the keys anywhere. Honey, you're not going to find the keys. They're here in my pocket. Well, give them to me. I got a date. I'm late. Honey, the car's not going anywhere at either of you. Now, yes, you're going to have a blowout. And yes, that kid will promise you anything. I mean, he'll paint the garage. He'll put the roof on the house. He'll pull weeds for life. Yeah. Just give me the keys to the car. Yeah. But see, that's the kind of discipline that an authoritative parent would use with a kid.
Wow. Does genetics have anything to do with this?
Yeah, it does, because there's some kids. You've met our daughter Holly. You know, she's married to Dean, and she's a great kid. She's a principal in a really tough school, English teacher by trade, went to Grove City College in Pennsylvania, a top-notch school, very, very bright kid. But her genes were such that as a kid, Sandy and I would have conversations like this. Well, honey, you better wake up Holly. We got to go. I'm not waking up Holly. I woke her up yesterday. You wake her up. Because she woke up swinging. Wow. I mean, there was a kid that her constitution, and there's all kinds of longitudinal studies where they study kids in nurseries and hospitals, and they can determine the kid's temperament. So people are hardwired differently. There's no two ways about it. But you can't let that be an excuse for kids learning maladaptive behavior. And that's the point I make in Parenting Your Powerful Child.
What does the home environment have to do to contribute to this?
It's got everything to do with it, because we teach kids. Number one, mom and dad, are you on the same page? Mm-hmm. If you're not, you're going to create a powerful child. Kids, and here's the kicker. I want you to keep in mind that your kids don't like it when you're unhappy with them. And one of the best disciplines, when two kids are going after each other or whatever, is walk in the room, parent, look them both in the eye, or one of them in the eye, as the case might be, and say, I am very unhappy with what just went down here. Turn your back and walk away. Mm-hmm. Now, when you do that, Perry, you're raking coals over those kids. Wow. Because they don't like it when mom and dad are upset with them.
Wow. You have a chapter on grace-based parenting. What do you mean by that?
I mean, most parents, if they're honest, will tell you there's several times I've thought of either UPSing my children to a far-off land or getting a rope and killing them.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to understand. I mean, the guy that you're watching, people, I got thrown out of Cub Scouts, got thrown out of college, got thrown out of the 4th grade. What else did I do? Oh, I remember picking, it's almost Christmas, picking old Norwegian Christmas ornaments off the tree with my BB gun. From 30 feet.
Sounds kind of fun to me.
if you bought, it was a great sound. When you hit one, it was sort of a pop. Pop.
Yeah.
And it was,
totally Oregonian.
I blamed it on the stupid cat, Puff.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was a handful. And when my mother, God rest her soul, she drove with me when I got put on the Wall of Fame at my high school, which is really funny. But they brought me back for a ceremony. We had a conversation like this. I said, hey, Ma, we fooled a few people, didn't we? She said, oh, honey, she said, I am so proud of you. I said, do you remember the night the cops brought me home? She said, oh, I do. But you were such a good boy. I said, remember the time I got caught driving golf balls toward the New York State Thruway? Oh, yes, I do. But you were such a good boy. And as she was wailing, I was such a good boy, all I could think of was, Perry, was Romans 8:39 that says, nothing separates you from the love of Christ. Mm-hmm. That's the way parents are, and you got to extend grace to kids. Kids are stupid. Mm-hmm. If you're offended by kids are stupid or kids are dumb as mud, I like to say it that way too. Call your insurance agent, folks, and ask him or her why you pay so much money for your 16 or 17-year-old kid to drive the family car. And the insurance salesperson is going to say something to the effect of, they're dumb as mud, that's why.
All right, so let me give you a little bit of a scenario. You're in a high energy moment with your powerful child, and in your mind, you see no win here. There's no way you're going to maybe overcome this moment. You talk about redirecting that power surge, getting it focused in another direction. How do you do that?
Well, with young kids, you pick them up and remove them from the scene. I mean, the little ankle biters.
Yeah.
Because they get powerful at a very early age, and they're going to show you, you know, that they're unhappy because you didn't do what you want them to do. You simply pick them up. You might put them in their room. You might close the door. With 16, 17-year-old, 14-year-old kids, you look them in the eye and say, honey, listen, I know you think that's true, and I understand your feelings on the subject, but we've discussed it, and the answer is no. You can get as angry about it as you want. It's okay to be angry. You can be disgusted with your parents, but we still love you, okay? Mm-hmm. And you can refuse to eat dinner. And your father said to tell you, if that's your choice, he's going to be happy because he's got that eye on that extra pork chop anyway. So in other words, you diffuse some of this stuff. You say, honey, if you want to be angry, you can be angry. But what you don't do is stoop to their level.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
If they say, well, how come she got that and I didn't get that? Well, honey, it's because your mother and I love her so much more than we love you.
Yeah.
You know, put some humor.
Yeah.
You know, when I go and do a show like The View, I use as much humor as I can just for survival.
Right. Yeah.
And I think if you have a powerful child on your hands, you use humor. Don't go looking for trouble. They're weird to begin with.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, last question. Kind of tying these two books together, having a new child by Friday or a teenager by Friday and parenting a powerful child. Same tactics?
You know, I've got about 28,000 people on my Dr. Kevin Leman Facebook page. And I get that question all the time. And this is what I tell people. I said, read these two books together. Read Have a New Kid by Friday, Have a New Teenager by Friday, and complement that with Parenting Your Powerful Child. And if people are curious about the book, go on Amazon and just read the reviews of what people say about the book. Mm-hmm. I'd have to admit to you, I am vain enough to go on and I've read them, and I'm happy that it's a 5-star rated book, mm-hmm. which means it's jam-packed full of ideas for you, whether your kid is 23 and living at home and thinks they're not accountable to anybody, or a mouthy 17-year-old or a 13-year-old or a little ankle biter. There's a lot in the book for anybody who has kids of any age.
Well, Kevin, I got to scoot, but thank you for your time. We love you and Sandy and your family. Just a beautiful witness all the way around. Are you working on something new, a new book?
Yes, I just finished a book. Oh, it's a tearjerker called "Be the Dad She Needs You to Be." It comes out May 18th, wow. And then I'm trying my hand at fiction. I'm doing a trilogy about a very wealthy family where the oldest son wants to become president of the United States.
Call me. So, I'll give you some tips on Jason.
Well, you know, really consult with you.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to leave you with one thing about your favorite president, President Obama.
Yeah.
You know he had a Portuguese water dog named Bo?
Yeah.
And he got another dog.
Right.
And you know a man's best friend is his
dog.
And I think even Bo gave up on him.
Oh, really? That's a bad day.
So I think that's why he got a new dog.
Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Kevin. Thanks for your time.
Health care by the post office. I can't wait for it.
All right, see you later. All right, Kevin Leman, what a hoot. All right, well, from Kevin Leman to our good buddy Bradlee Dean coming up next here on Focus Today.
Hi, I'm Daniel and I work at theDove TV. You know, compared to Portland, Seattle, and LA, Medford might be considered a small market, but at theDove, we're excited about the opportunity to make a big impact right here in our community. And you help make that happen. Did you know that more than 90% of our income comes from people like you? You can help us now by making a secure online donation at our website, thedove.us, or by phoning 541-776-5368.
Welcome back, and I am always honored to have with us our good friend Bradlee Dean, and of course he heads up You Can Run But You Cannot Hide International Ministries, and we've had him on quite a few times, but now he's in special company because him and Tim Tebow are considered, quote, Christian propagandizers. What an indictment, Bradlee.
I'm kind of blown away a little bit here too, Perry. So actually, I should be interviewing you as to what your thoughts were as to what you read concerning me and Tim Tebow.
Well, I thought, well, if you're going to get slammed around, that was pretty nice.
It really was. I was honored. It reminds me of George Whitfield when he said he was honored that he had dead cats, rotten eggs, and rocks thrown at him today while preaching. And I consider it a badge of honor when these people continuously bombard me with their ridicule. And it's interesting as well as if we were so ineffective and we were what they say and claim that we are, why do they spend so much time attacking us? That's what's bewildering here.
Yeah, it's interesting because the article goes on to say that you guys are considered top Christian youth icons. Well, yeah.
Cool. That's cool with me, right? If it works. Paul said, I become all things to all men to win the more to Christ, and that's exactly what this is all about. My treasure here is the souls of men. And it says, David said, when the Lord said to David, he said, ask of me, for the heathen is thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth is thy possession. That's what I'm after, Perry. This has nothing to do with what they're trying to, advance towards me and Tim Tebow as trying to be something we are not. We're not looking to glory. We're looking to see Christ glorified.
Yeah, I mean, I know your heart, and I know what you guys are trying to do. I just find it interesting that those who go after people like you and Tim Tebow, and we get it here as well. They're calling you the Christian rights. Well, first of all, you epitomize the Christian's right overreaction to the fact that young people are ignoring religious fundamentals.
Yeah, but you should see the stats there because, listen, it's not just in the secular realms that we deal with these issues. It's also in the Christian realm. I just got back from the East Coast. We did a 17-state tour, and Perry, doing Christian colleges and Christian high schools, the number one question that these students ask me when I'm done with my program is, what do we do? If they already had the answers from the left, as they're called, then they wouldn't be looking to the right for the answers. And let me say this, there wouldn't be a left if the right was doing the right thing all the time. And I want to give them the right answers. And Christ is always right. He's never been wrong, and therein lies the answers.
Well, what's encouraging, Bradlee, is that how can I say this that comes out right? You are proving that there is a genuine hunger in young people, and when they hear the truth, they don't need to hear it 100 times. They only need to hear it once, and they connect the dots.
Oh, they do, without a question. The Bible says we're not to find our faith in the wisdom of men's words, but in the power and in the demonstration of the Spirit of the living God. And it also declares that the kingdom of heaven is not in word, but in power. And that is always my prayer, because I want them leaving knowing that the Holy Ghost has been doing a work in their life, and not another preacher or a cool icon preacher was just in our school today. No, I want people to be changed. I want them to be transformed by the Holy Ghost. And that's his whole function and purpose. And these kids, these students, these young adults, they are changed. But we have to be willing to give them the light and the truth. And remember, the Holy Ghost doesn't come to comfort a man that's in sin. He only comes to convict of sin, righteousness, and judgment. And that's exactly what's happening in these realms with both the secular and in the Christian realms with these students. They're being convicted. They know something's wrong. They want the light of men, so we give them Jesus Christ. We leave. We've done our job. The Holy Ghost does his, and there we go.
All right, a couple of things about this article. One, you actually came in higher than Tim Tebow. That's quite a deal.
Yeah. Well, if, as I said earlier, Perry, if I was ineffective, why do they spend so much time inundating my name with lies, fabrications, contrivations, so on and so forth? Yeah. It is absolutely amazing how much time these people spend on me. And I didn't really look at it like, you know, all right, I did better than Tim Tebow. It just shows you right now I'm more effective than Tim Tebow is. And after doing 350 high schools, when you have MSNBC and the left is, again, the American people call them, attacking me on a 24/7 basis, I just think it shows you the power and the effectiveness of who we are in Christ Jesus.
All right. Do you think, again, the article's from what, AlertNet, right? Yeah.
Salon.com.
Salon, that's right. Excuse me. Salon,
right.
SALON.com, if you want to read the article. Do you think that the article portrays Christianity in general? How would you describe it, how Salon describes Christianity in general? Excuse me.
Well, I think that what they're doing is just they're trying to give us a backhand when, in fact, they're honoring us. I mean, there's nothing new under the sun. They're doing the same thing. We're being persecuted for righteousness' sake. And I think where they attack, it shows you where they falter, where they know the truth lies. And so in saying that, I just think what they're simply trying to do is they're trying to demean us. They're trying to mock us. And you know, the bottom line is they did this to Christ. They're going to do it to his servants. And here we are standing much more higher in the process. And by the way, Christians, they're giving us a platform. And when Salon means to demean, Christ promotes. He said, if I be lifted up, I'll draw all men nigh unto you. And that's exactly what he's doing in the process. So I didn't really analyze their effectiveness or what they were trying to do. I always know what they're trying to do. They're trying to demean the truth, which exposes them for who they really are, is what it comes down to.
You know, probably the most harsh thing they said was that you're rapidly homophobic and you endorse executing people for being gay. I mean, that is pretty strong.
Well, that tells you why we're suing Rachel Maddow on MSNBC as well. If you remember right, I was broadcasting live out of the Heritage Foundation in Washington, D.C. 2.5 years ago. And if you remember rightly, the radical Muslims in America were calling for the execution of the homosexuals. Well, I figured I was going to go ahead and tell the homosexuals, love on them enough to tell them that the radical Muslims were calling for their execution. Rachel Maddow thought it'd be really cute to omit 1 minute out of my radio segment, paste the two ends together. August 2010, she said Bradlee was basically, she was trying to bias the story that I was advocating the execution of homosexuals. She pulls up a disclaimer. This is really where it's going to get you, Perry. She pulls up the same piece in 2011 of May, and she said this time when Michelle Bachmann was running for the presidential candidacy, she said that the radicals, she was calling me and Michelle Bachmann, she said Bradlee Dean, like Michelle Bachmann, were calling for the upping of the bloodshed in America culture wars because Christians and conservatives weren't doing enough to kill the gays. And when they did that the second time, I started getting death threats. They put my house up online, my physical address, and I knew right then and there we had to take action against MSNBC, and that's what we have been doing over the last 2 years.
Unbelievable. Well, I think it's also, you know, I understand suffering for righteousness' sake, but I think you also have a message here, Bradlee, for all Christians. Don't stand down.
No way.
Stand up.
Yep. I was just in Washington, D.C. yesterday, Perry, and one of the things that our forefathers tell us, it reminds me of Jeremiah 6:16, go back to the old past. Well, when you look to the forefathers, they tell us to study the past. And one of the things that I seen at the Archive Center in Washington, D.C. was the price of liberty is eternal vigilance. In other words, fight the good fight of faith, because we know within ourselves that our rights come from our Creator. They come not from those that want to rule in a lawless manner.
Wow.
So I am not standing down. I'm not asking for permission to obey God or the laws of our constitutional republic. And when the American people come to the same terms as I am, guess what's going to happen? We're going to win our freedoms back, and we're going to win our country back. And I believe we can do just that.
I think we're on the verge of some kind of a major pushback, a righteous major pushback, don't you?
Amen.
You feel it?
Amen. I'm seeing it all across the country. I think what the American people need to do, Perry, is to simply shut the television off and understanding within themselves that the state-run media is bought and paid for from A to Z. 6 corporations across the globe own the media outsources, so you're getting all the same information contrived from the same sources. When they realize that the approval rating of the state-run media is only 21%, in other words, they're not telling you the truth, then and only then are we going to be able to take our country back. Let's get back to our founding documents. As George Washington rightly said during his farewell address, religion and morality are the essential pillars of civil society. The Bible is the rock upon which our republic rests, said Andrew Jackson. Then and only then will we realize who we are, where we came from, and then and only then will we know where we're going to.
Amen. God bless you, pal.
Amen.
We love you. Hang in there. Stay in touch. We'll have you back soon.
Appreciate that. I'm going to send you some stuff, Perry. God bless you, too.
Okay, you too, Bradlee. All right, Bradlee Dean with us. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Paula, and I work at theDove TV. Every day we get letters and emails from people who've been encouraged, blessed, and challenged by the programs on theDove TV. But we couldn't do it without you. Did you know that more than 90% of our income comes from people like you? You can help us continue to bring inspiration and hope to our community by making a secure online donation at our website, thedove.us, or call us at 541-776-5368.
Okay, we're back, and we want to talk about the safety of your children. We are delighted to have with us here in just a second Lytishya Borglum. She's the National Director and co-founder of S.I.P. Kids. This is Safety in Print's Kids. She's a wife, proud mother of 4, and they have a great event coming up. It's called the Health and Safety Fair in Coos Bay. Now, this is going to be held on December 7th, and her part of that is something that we want to talk to her about, because the Keeping Kids Safe project can be used literally all over the country. So we're looking forward to that. And she's very passionate about helping the world be a safer place for children. And again, for those of you who are listening in the Coos Bay area, if you're listening on KDCB 89.5, or maybe you're listening on KDPO, that's Dove Port Orford, covers all of that area there in Bandon, Coos Bay, down around Port Orford, and clear up into Charleston and North Bend. Mark that down, December 7th. Perhaps you're seeing on some of the flyers around town the Health and Safety Fair coming up. And her part of that, I believe, is going to be held at the Coos Bay Toyota dealership that's located at 2001 North Bayshore Drive. Okay? And again, I think we are, well, let me just, maybe you want to Skype this out or Google it out, S.I.P., which is Safety in Print's Kids. And we're going to, I think we got her on the phone. We're going to have to go to the phone where the Skype isn't working. So, Lytishya, are you there?
I am, Perry. Thanks so much for your patience, and I'm sorry to see that we weren't able to connect via Skype.
Well, that's okay. I understand technology blurps.
Indeed.
We live with them all day. Well, listen, this is a pretty interesting project. Tell us about it.
Absolutely. S.I.P. Kids is our organization, and we run a program called the Keeping Kids Safe Project. And what we do is we tour around the country, and we set up events that are like community safety fairs for kids, where families can come out and they can take advantage of our program, which offers free digital fingerprinting and photographs for parents where the records get sent home with them. And then in addition to that, we work with all sorts of local organizations to have them out there to be a part of the event so that families can learn a little bit about, what kind of great resources are available right there in your own backyard that they can help, connect with and help to keep their families safe and healthy throughout the year.
Wow. Okay, now you got an event coming up the 7th of December, and where are you going to be located there in Coos Bay?
We are going to be inside the Coos Bay Toyota building. The folks over there have been nice enough to clear everything out and let us take over, so our event is going to be rain or shine. And they are located over at 2001 North Bayshore Drive in Coos Bay. And so inside the Coos Bay Toyota building, and we'll have all of the activities taking place there.
All right, so let's talk about, for a second, the best way to protect our kids' privacy.
Absolutely. Well, one of the first ways that starts is when you're coming out to any kind of a program like our event, we always say to make sure that whenever you're getting your child's information, even if it's getting put into a safety record, make sure that information isn't going to be databased or stored anywhere. When families come into our event, what we do is we will have the child sit down, we'll take all 10 digital fingerprints, and then we will take a digital photograph, and we will print that record out, and that record is the only record of the visit, and we hand it immediately to the parents, and then they will fill out all of the personal information as far as height, weight, birthmarks, that sort of thing, and they will keep it in the privacy of their own home, and what we recommend doing is sticking it in with their child's school photos, and so that way, if an emergency comes up, law enforcement will come in, they'll ask for a recent school photo, they can get in there, and they'll immediately be able to hand over that record, and at that time run an Amber Alert. So, the nice thing is that you don't have to share your child's information unless the emergency comes up. And we always say, pay attention to that whenever you're participating in a kids program. And, above and beyond that, we always encourage parents to definitely be involved with their kids, especially anything that they're doing online. That is a huge way to help protect their privacy.
Yeah, I've always been concerned, are we too transparent online these days,
Oh, you're so right. I mean, if you think about it, things that we post online on a regular basis that are out there, a lot of people think like social networking, well, only my friends can see it. That's not necessarily true. A lot of their settings, friends of friends of friends can see them.
Right.
And we talk about when we're not going to be home, when we're going on vacation, what our children are doing, what they're participated in. And, somebody wanting to use that information in the wrong way would certainly not have a difficult time gathering it. So we always want to be aware of what it is that we're putting online.
Great. Well, tell us, how do you work with businesses and other organizations?
Well, the biggest way is actually through word of mouth, and that's what this case was. We had a gentleman named Guy Hawthorne that's over at Coos Bay Toyota that heard about our program and called us up and said, hey, I think what you guys do is great. How do we make this available in Coos Bay? And so we've been working with him to put everything together, and they really stepped forward and said, you know what? We want this to be available. We don't want there to be any charge to the parents for anything that's going on. And so they cover, all of the costs for us being able to fly in a fingerprint specialist, all of the equipment that's needed, and they cover all the fingerprinting for the kids as well. And so that way, there's never a charge to families. And then I will tell you, I am very excited, Perry, about the response that we have gotten from the Coos Bay community. If you don't mind, I'd love to tell you some of the different organizations that are coming out and what kind of things are going on for kids, because, wow, we have a lot going on. So if you're a parent and you're thinking, well, I'm not sure if my kids would enjoy going to a safety event or not, let me tell you this. As a mother of four myself, we have so many fun things going on at this event, and they're all free, so it would definitely be silly not to take advantage. We have the Coos Bay Fire and Rescue Department, which is going to be there, and, of course, kids always love having the fire department on board. We've got Bay City Ambulance. They have giveaways and games that they're going to have for all the kids. We've got CASA of Coos Bay is coming out, and they'll have activities as well as information on what they do. Synergy Dance Company is going to be there. They have crafts that they're going to do for kids. They're doing giveaways. And then, of course, they have information on what they do, and they're going to be doing demonstrations throughout the day. We have Copewill Martial Arts. They're going to be doing demos and mini lessons so that kids can actually see what it is that they're doing on a very early stage as far as, self-defense, safety, that sort of thing. We have Coos Bay Car Seat Coalition that's going to be there making sure that all the little ones are buckled up appropriately, and parents that might have questions can get them answered there. And then, to top it off, we have Jump for Fun is donating a bounce house for all the kids. We'll have free snacks and free juice for all the kids that come through. And Kids Zone is bringing out a bunch of toys to help provide a little bit of entertainment as well. So just a huge amount of things going on, and let me reiterate that everything at this event is free. There's no cost to get in. There's no kind of obligation whatsoever. Just come out, bring the kids, have a fun day, and enjoy all the different things that are going on.
Lytishya, that is wonderful. Again, it's December 7th, so it's coming up shortly, and it'll be held there at the Coos Bay Toyota dealership, 2001 North Bayshore Drive. And those listening on the Dove network up and down the coast there, and we cover the Coos Bay, Charleston, North Bend, Port Orford, down into Gold Beach, all the way down the Brookings. So take the short drive to Coos Bay and be a part of that. In the meantime, what can people do to get more info?
There's several ways to connect with us. Certainly one of the easiest ones, as we were just talking about, is looking us up on Facebook. You can find us under Keeping Kids Safe Project National Tour. And all of our events are listed on there. And the nice thing is that if you're hearing this and you didn't get all the details, or maybe you're thinking, well, gosh, I've got a friend that's got a couple of kids. I know she would love to take part in this. She's been, looking for a place to get the fingerprints done for the kids. You can RSVP to the event, and it actually gives you the option to pass the word along and send an invite to friends and family that you know in the area. And so literally within a matter of seconds, we can get the word out there to hundreds of families. So look us up on Facebook under Keeping Kids Safe Project National Tour. And then as well, you can also look up our website under keepingsafeproject.com, exactly how it sounds. And if you have questions about, maybe where Coos Bay Toyota is located, you didn't catch the address or the times of the event, you can always contact our local contact over there, Coos Bay Toyota, and they have all of the pertinent information as well. And their number is 541-267-3121. So again, that's 541-267-3121.
Wow, this is wonderful. I got about a minute. Now, do you have other events planned coming up after this one?
Absolutely. We don't have any going on in that area, but we actually do events all across the country. So on any given weekend, we can be in Oregon and down in Kentucky and up in Minnesota and down in Florida all at the same time. And all of our events are listed on our Facebook page. So if you have family across the country that you want to connect in with the program, you can look up the events there, and, they can friend the page and watch what's coming up as well. So definitely a lot of different events coming up.
Well, Lytishya, thank you so much. And again, thanks for including Oregon and making that happen. It would be really interesting to see the turnout and the response. And as this thing begins to mushroom across the country, I would assume that a lot of parents are going to latch onto this. I mean, what a great idea.
Well, thank you very much. We're very privileged to be able to participate in a program like this and provide it. So looking forward to seeing all the families out there and at Coos Bay Toyota coming up December 7th from 10 until 4. And like I said, everything's free. There's no age limit. Come out and enjoy the event.
All right. Thanks so much. Have a great one.
Thanks. You too, Perry.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. There she is, Lytishya Borglum, with us today, National Director and Co-founder of Keeping Kids Safe, and of course Safety and Prints, and you can check it out online. And if you want more information, you can call the dealership over there at 541-267-3121 and get more information. That is coming up December 7th, so you may want to check that out. All right, thank you. See you next time on Focus Today.
Hi, I'm Jim, and I work at theDove TV. Every weekday between 6 and 8 a.m., our award-winning news and sports team bring you the best morning show around. It's live, it's honest, and it's a whole lot of fun. And you help make it happen. Did you know that more than 90% of our income comes from people like you? You can help us continue to air local programs that share your voice by making a secure online donation at our website, thedove.us.